Well, hi. My name is Mitch Schneider, owner and operator of Schneider's Automotive Repair in Simi Valley, California, and a member of Chapter 2, Automotive Service Council. Recently, I had the opportunity to present at the 2012 summer meeting for ASCCA on June 22nd. And I brought up during that presentation the concept I've championed for quite some time, actually, called Adopt-A-Shop, or that I call Adopt-A-Shop. Gene Morrell, owner of Certified Automotive Specialties in Glendora, California, and a member of ASCCA Chapter 5, came up to me after the presentation and asked if I would put together something to help explain what this concept is all about so that he could share it with members of his chapter and perhaps members of the board of ASCCA. In thinking about what to do and how to do it, there are a number of choices. I could have put together a formal presentation, PowerPoint presentation. I could have written it up in a white paper format or done a lot of other things. And instead, I decided that I would first sit down and actually lay this out in a webcast format, in a video format, really to see what I had to say on the subject and to really consolidate my thoughts and feelings about this. Let's see what I have to say about it. First of all, and perhaps foremost, this is not a new idea, and neither is it my idea. It was first introduced to me, and I first started thinking about it in a different kind of a sense when a good friend, Ben Caswell, of Ben's Transmission up in Santa Barbara, California, made a habit of taking other shop owners to expose them to Terry Greenhut seminars. Ben had first been introduced to Terry at a seminar, and it changed his life and his business in profound and positive ways, and he really felt that he had a responsibility to pay that forward. And he would approach other shop owners in his area, shop owners that he felt would benefit from being exposed to this idea, and he would literally buy their ticket to the seminar. And going back a ways, if you know anything about Terry's seminars in the old days, they were not inexpensive. They were almost guaranteed to make you money in the long run if you paid attention and listened, but they were not inexpensive to attend in the first place. But Ben would actually reach in his own pocket and he would pay the tuition for that other shop owner to attend, and his basic comeback when somebody would say, well, what or why or what do I owe you or how does this work, and he would just simply say, you can pay me back out of the extra money that you make through what you learn by attending this seminar. So I thought it was really an incredible way to pay it forward before the movie came out and we had a name for it or anything like that. And it took a lot of courage, and it took a lot of insight, and it took a lot of character and confidence to do something like that, because it sort of goes against all of human nature when you think about it. There's a tremendous amount of benefit in doing this. And I guess in a lot of ways it was the ultimate money-back guarantee, really, when you think about it. If we look at what our goals and objectives are, and we look at who and what we are as association members, as being affiliated in an industry in which perhaps as little or as few as 15% of all the shop owners in our industry are affiliated, then we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to elevate the industry, to make it better, to leave a legacy. We have a responsibility to increase association involvement, because that's one of the most powerful vehicles through which we can achieve all of these goals and objectives. And the hard part is not only increasing involvement, but increasing commitment, the level of commitment as well. And the question always comes up, how do we do that? How do you go ahead and make something as intangible as the benefits of association membership relevant to a shop owner who's struggling to survive? And I'm not sure that you can do that. I'm not sure that it's possible even, because if a shop owner is struggling to survive, that's all they really care about. That's all they really think about. They're at the first two rungs of Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of human needs and security and physiology, and they're having a hard time of it. And that's all they can think of, is getting past that hard time of it. And it's going to take new and different tactics to accomplish those goals, I think. And I think this is perhaps one of the easiest, still difficult, but one of the easiest ways to accomplish that. So it doesn't get a whole lot more complicated than that, really. It becomes our responsibility to go ahead and find someone in the community or someone in a different community that owns and operates an automotive repair facility who probably is struggling, and then reaching out to that person and saying, hey, listen, you know, I am who you are. I was where you are. I can go ahead and help you. I can share what I've learned. I can share all the knowledge and experience that I have. If you will just reach out and take my hand, I will pull you up to the next level of your success. But in order to do that, you've got to trust me. You've got to join the association. You've got to get involved. You've got to go ahead and listen. I can't make you promise that you're going to do everything that I suggest you need to do in order to become successful. But I need your word. I need your bond. I need your guarantee that you're going to at least listen and hopefully try the things that we have to talk about. And I think that that's a really very, very effective way to double the size of our associations. There are shops out there that desperately need help. There are shops within our association that have an abundance of knowledge, skill, ability, experience, wisdom to share if they're willing to do that. And all we have to do is connect the dots. All we've got to do is find a shop owner that is compatible with another shop owner within the association, hook them up, and see what happens. I mean, really think about it for a second. What's the worst thing that can happen? What is the worst thing that can happen? If we fail, we're no worse off than we are right now. We just expended a little bit more energy and effort than we have in the past. But look at what we have to gain. I don't want to suggest to anybody that this is going to be easy. I have no false illusions about it being easy. We're asking of ourselves and of others that which all of us find very difficult to do. We have to overcome a number of issues that, not the least of which are our own insecurities, the insecurities of shop owners that are struggling, that don't want anybody else to know how desperately they need help. We're fighting the resistance to change, which is a natural human response. We have issues of trust within the industry that are really difficult to overcome and to surmount. We have a false notion of losing our competitive edge by giving away secret knowledge that we've accumulated over the years that's going to help one of our competitors, because we don't really understand who our real competitors are. And we have a natural reluctance to accept help from somebody else. And all of those things have to be overcome through building relationships, through creating a sense of trust and relevance and a willingness to work together. The issue is simply that, you know, we have the knowledge base. We know that there are people within our associations that are among the best shop owners in the country. And it doesn't matter whether this is Automotive Service Council of Southern California or California or Northern California. It doesn't matter whether it's ASA or any of the other associations that are out there. The basic concept remains the same. We have to recognize that nothing is going to change until someone changes it. If we're waiting for something to change on its own, we're going to be waiting a long time. It hasn't changed yet. There's no reason to believe it's going to change in the future. So we have to wait for someone to reach out, step out of that comfort zone, and do something different, do something spectacular, really, do something unnatural, do something uncomfortable. And we're stuck until that happens. We're stuck until somebody does something that's bold. I believe that we have members who have the knowledge ability to change the lives of those marginal shop owners who are out there, who are interested and willing to accept help. If we can find them, if we can identify them, and if we can get them to raise their hands and say, yes, I could use help. I'm struggling and I'm tired of struggling. I'm exhausted. If I don't get help soon, I'm in real trouble. I believe that we can effectively double the size of our associations. We can get past the natural resistance that we all sort of feel when it comes to sharing. If we can get past what a lot of people call a scarcity mentality, the mentality that the pie is only so big, and by giving somebody else a bigger piece of that pie, we make our piece of the pie smaller. I believe that the pie is infinitely large and that there's room for larger slices for everyone who's interested in being professional, who's interested in being competent, qualified, and a professional in our industry. You know, I also believe with a absolutely perfect faith that there's a technology for everything. And I think that there's a technology for this as well, for Adopt a Shop as well. But I'm not sure that this is the venue, the time, or the place to discuss the details for that. This is the time or place to talk about the concept of reaching out, taking another shop owner by the hand, pulling them up to your level of performance, and then both of you moving to the next level of performance and success together, and thereby accomplishing the goal of every association in our industry, and that is to elevate the industry, to improve the condition of the repair community and those of us who struggle within it. So while this may not be the time or place to discuss the specific strategy or the details of how to implement or execute such a policy, I do think it's the time and the place to go ahead and respond to Gene's request for a deeper explanation of what Adopt a Shop is all about, and I hope that I've accomplished that here. I think this is the time and place to talk about whether or not we're satisfied with the way things are, with the status quo, and what we're willing to do about it and what we're not willing to do about it, because I think both of those things are critically important. Albert Gray, a gentleman named Albert Gray, in a speech entitled The Common Denominator of Success, delivered to the National Association of Life Insurance Underwriters in 1940, 72 years ago, 1940. Is that 72 years ago? 60 and 30, yeah. Suggested within that speech that successful people are successful because they form the habit of doing those things people who are not successful are unwilling to do. Well, you know, for those of us within the association, those of us who are affiliated, we've already done at least one of those things. The majority of unsuccessful people in our industry are unwilling or unable or incapable of doing, and that's joining. That's working with other shop owners to improve our situation, our lot. We've recognized the importance of interdependence, that independence is one thing and it's great, but interdependence is much more powerful because it leverages all of our strengths and abilities together. We can double the size of our organizations by doing one more thing most people are reluctant to do, and that's reach out to another shop owner and offer them help in reaching their goals and objectives, the next level of their success. And in so doing, I think what we'll do is elevate our own situations as well. I think we'll become more successful in the process. And I don't mean not just the institutions. I'm talking about us as individuals as well. I wouldn't get too excited about this if I were you, although I think it's worthy of excitement. It's worthy of a little optimism here. But even if we were to double the size of all of our associations, we'd still have more than 70% of the industry unaffiliated. So we've got a lot of work to do. Those people, unless we reach out to them as well, ultimately are going to remain unaffiliated, isolated, and struggling with their futures, and in so doing make our lives more difficult because they don't understand the basic nature of our business. So that's pretty much it. That's the whole idea of Adopt a Shop in a nutshell. I hope that's what Gene had in mind. I'm sure he'll let me know if it isn't. Whether you are an association member or you're unaffiliated, I'd like to know what you think about all this and what you have to say about it. And just for the record, I'm available to discuss this idea further if anybody is so interested. Until then, thank you very much for listening and spending the last couple of minutes with me. I think it's an interesting idea, and I think it's an idea worthy of further discussion. Until the next time we get together, stay well, take care, make money, have fun. Don't do business with anybody you don't like, because there's probably a really good reason you don't like them. And I have to tell you from personal experience, you don't need to find out what that reason is. You just need to trust your instincts and stay away. Send them on down the road to somebody else. So, until the next time, it's Mitch Schneider. Mitch Schneider's World, over and out.